Oh, there we go. Okay. Welcome to Hangman Tarot. We're going to get started with our celebrity tarot card reading with CHRIS Benoit? I don't even know how to say this word. Okay, anyway, we're going to go over his astrology real quick. But first, I want you to go ahead and hit subscribe to Hangman Tarot, of course, and I'm going to get into the tarot card reading. I'm going to do a couple shuffles here, and we're going to find out all about CHRIS, and then we will start our tarot card reading. I am going to go over his astrology quickly right now. He was born in Quebec, Canada. He was born May 21st, 1967, and he was a professional wrestler during his 22-year career. He worked for numerous promotions, including the World Wrestling Foundation, World, and the World Champion Wrestling, Extreme Championship Wrestling, and New Japan Pro Wrestling industry. Historian Dave Metzler considered him one of the top 10, maybe even the top 5 of all time great. Over a 3-day period. Whew, this is a tough one. I am so sorry, but I didn't. Okay. So over a 3-day period, CHRIS had in the past, CHRIS had killed his wife and son before then hanging himself. His wife was bound before the killing, and his son was drugged and likely unconscious before he had strangled him. He then committed suicide with a weight machine. Jesus Christ. Well, happy 4th of July to y'all. Frickin' crap. This has just got extremely, very, very, very severe. Okay, I didn't realize it was like that. You know, things are always so much worse than we really think. Like, anytime I've heard of this guy, I never really thought of it like the way that they just wrote it. So I'm just completely like, what? Apparently he had some undiagnosed concussions and dementia in his brain, and then also adding to alcohol or drugs really connects the deaths and the suicide, but I'm not quite sure. Shit. Okay, well, I know that he's very loved, this person, so I'm just trying to like wrap my brain around this situation, okay? Okay. All right. Okay. I think I can do this. I'm so sorry. This is just like, it's just very much like the heaviness of the energy. I just trying to acculate here, like, and get it into the grips of this reading is going to be heavy. Okay. Okay, we're going to get started. I want to find out what's going on. We're just going to, start pulling some cards and see where this read goes, okay? Because I don't want to put any rules on it for some reason. I don't know. I'm just feeling like this is more of a kind of just go with the winds type of vibe. Very much so. He wasn't like a very serious person. And I'm sensing that, like, he was, serious enough, but there was this side to him that, like, it was very charming, but like there was not like this intense, serious side that he usually was seen with. He's very flexible. He's very to the winds also, if that makes sense. So I want to talk about, past issues, and he's one to talk about past issues. So this is going to be a sensitive reading. Okay. All right. We've got our Ace of Cups that is upright, 7 of Cups in reverse. We got our Tower up. Okay, so kind of in the beginning of things, there was a very strong positive emotion around him, especially when things were always new again. There was a new insight. There was just like a really creative and passionate kind of side. And the feeling on him was, it's almost like things just kind of kept growing and progressing, even from like a new standpoint or a new place in love. Okay. There's definitely there was some sort of a connection, some sort of a newness in his past. I'm just seeing vaguely here. If we were to reflect, if he were to reflect, he would know that there was bad choices that was made. There was an arrogancy kind of that filmed around it. It was almost like facing reality would have been like a huge chance. Okay. And it was like the thinking before we speak, or thinking before we talk, or thinking before, like we let somebody down that's in our corner, basically. It's just, there's a very cold and moody, when you're looking back on things, almost like because he wasn't able to see the reality of things. He wasn't able to see the big picture. He wasn't able to see this. He was not here in this reality. He was seeing something completely different at the time. Oh, thank you so much, baby boss. Rest in peace. Yes, 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 yes. So by the time he got into a place where maybe he hadn't, there was nothing, he couldn't go back. Okay. Nothing is secure in whatever this external disruption was. Okay. There was a huge change, and anything that he could do to stop it, everything was just changed. Okay. And the change come from loss, and the loss is a grief. I mean, obviously the instability though caused conflict after conflict. Could we have stopped the inevitable? No. Okay, death reverse, 5 swords up. So accepting all cycles, having that acceptance is kind of what's being indicated here. And just knowing that life is inevitable when it's moving and pushing the flows of life and the cycles. And the death in reverse is just being indicated that there needs to and always needs to be an acceptance for death, no matter which way we're looking at death. Okay. And this is just one of those things. It's just like the imbalance that it brings when it comes out of kind of nowhere, or it takes like a huge turn, and we're like, well, why is this person passing this way? And it's like, that's not what we're supposed to be seeing. We're supposed to be seeing the inevitable is happening no matter what. Yeah, there was a fight here bigger than the actual reward. There was like no winning. There was no saying sorry. It wasn't worth the fight, and somebody in the situation was definitely not ready. And it was like he took his time. There was a huge moment where he just kind of like, it took a little longer than it should have. And he knew like he wasn't going to keep continuing to fight in the physical world. And so this was inevitable. For sure. Definitely inevitable. Let's find out his thoughts and feelings on his wife. Okay. Okay, so she thought he was wild and free. He was full of youth. She felt like he had good intentions. And it was almost like the pushing forward of like the confidence and how fair he came off, and how like wonderful of a communicator he was. He was really good at communicating and making things very clear. As far as the relationship, it worked really well. And there was nothing to really force in the situation with this 2 of Cups in reverse, or excuse me, upright. But it's like there was a high moment, and then that was pretty much that. Okay. But there was something like very, it worked very well. The relationship did. There was something that worked really, really well. What was the turn? Something became a burden. 10 of Wands upright. We got our Knight of Cups in reverse. And it's like, almost like he was feeling temperamental, sulky. He was feeling like he wasn't sufficient enough. He felt like he lacked any substance. He lacked any, charmingness, except for he was extremely charming. He was all these really amazing things that he just didn't think that he was. Okay. So, I mean, he was good with change, but like there was an unrealistic vibe about him at the time emotionally. And that is something that he couldn't keep under wraps. So there was like an intensity, a codependency, and it was all meaningless, but not to him. Like it had meaning. Everything had meaning at the time, if that makes sense. And there was definitely a burden here. And I feel like This stress with work, I feel like he felt like he had no direction, and it was like kind of like an uphill battle. He was just like, well, if I keep pushing this, I mean, am I going to reap any of the benefits here? Is this, really what I need to be pushing at? And I feel like it was coming to the ending. There was an ending cycle here, and it was almost like he was avoiding that also. It was completed. There was definitely a completion. But he never really asked what he really needed. Nobody was asking what he needed. Nobody asked. I don't know if that resonates, but it's very much being in this reading. That's the addictions here. Nobody asked if he was okay. Nobody asked if he needed help. Nobody asked. It wasn't like that. But he probably came off, super flexible, and he was really good with change. But like there was this other side that was just, it's almost like there was nothing content within the inside of him, and he couldn't self-soothe. So he probably went and used other things. I do feel like there could have been some sort of mental disorder that they might have passed up, or some sort of allergy, maybe skin issues. I mean, something else was like very much bothering him health-wise. I don't know if it's just the mind thing or the brain injury. Okay. Yeah. So there was definitely a major change, something completely. He was in a soulmate situation. Okay. So there was harmony, there was a love in their relationship. They were making choices, they were trying to grow, but there was a major change. Something kind of shifted even in the relationship. And he had a really hot temper. So there was a difficulty, especially when he was, kind of out of touch with the heart anyway. So I feel like he was very motivated usually by his person. So whoever his lover was, his wife, this person really motivated him. So it was almost like the erraticness or the difficulty that it was going to take him in almost like walking away without her. That's just the erraticness of that. No, that was not going to happen. That was not happening. The mother. He took her too. Okay. There was a mental fog, 5 pentacles in reverse. Yeah. He was emotionally wounded. Okay. Huge. I mean, this is huge. And there was definitely some sort of a victim mentality that he carried in, but the mental fog was pretty heavy, and kind of like he kept envisioning rejection constantly. But he was feeling unstable, weak. He kind of felt lazy at the time even, but he felt like everything kind of in that moment was very scary, because it all felt like it made no sense. It all felt like it was meaningless at the time. Nothing was secure. Nothing was safe. There was nothing safe about the situation. No. All right, let's find out what he wants. What would he say if he could look back on things now? Chris, if you could say anything, leave behind any words, any advice, what would be the thing that you tell everyone to not take advantage of? What do you wish you could come back and do? Ace of Pentacles reversed. We have our 9 of Wands. That's in reverse. Temperance is upright. Okay. So he had a ton of second guessing. He had a ton of hesitation when he was trying to move forward. Okay. He wishes that he wasn't so arrogant. He wishes that he, put more into not having an attitude and, not dominating every single situation. He really wishes that he would have just kind of explored an everlasting feeling instead of, like being a really bossy lover or a bossy friend even. I mean, there was definitely some sort of timing issue here. He wishes that he wouldn't have counted on time so much. Yeah. He wishes there would have been more balance in his relationships. If he could go back, he'd balance out the peace instead. No conflicts and clear mind. He wishes for the clear mind. If he could come back, he would find more love, take more time for himself. Yeah, to be rational, to find, any sort of inspiration or moving ahead, pushing forward. Second guessing and hesitation were huge players here. And the fact that he had a controlling issue and he was trying to, kind of power play every situation and dominate every situation. This is something that he wishes he could definitely, change. He wishes he could have grown in balance. He could have added more quiet time or meditation or peace. He would have had no conflicts if his mind would have been clear. Does that make sense? What should the world know about your passing? 3 swords. Got that in reverse. 5 pentacles. That's, again, we're having 5 pentacles. Ace of swords upright. He's mentally clear now. He feels expansion. He feels successful. He feels like there's a clearing every day, like a clearing the way constantly, okay? Waves of new energy. It's just like new ideas every moment, every day. These are just things that are kind of like breaking through this reading. It's just indicating that. That is definitely something that he has now. He wishes that the focus would have been more on him. There would have been no effect to him if he would not have been unclear, okay? Because the mental fog keeps coming up in these cards. And the acceptance, though, of that mental clear or unclear, excuse me. So if he would have found more acceptance for the mind fog and the fact that his mind was not set in the right place, it would have been way better, way easier. Life would have been so much different, because what he was doing was he was just getting like a vision of rejection. He thought he'd be rejected if people thought his brain was funny, or if people thought his, mind was foggy and couldn't make clear decisions. He felt this is what it was. The rejection, the sabotage was definitely something on the inside, because if he would have gotten checked, if he would have taken care of himself and not been scared of that rejection, he would have found that balance. Okay. He said, feeling almost like I've been knocked down by better. But the acceptance would have been, that's forgiving himself. There's an emotional wound here and the vision of rejection. These are huge players. Yes, very much so. But now there's sudden realization, there's expansion, there's a clear mind now where he is, what he's doing. Yeah. Totally, especially if you have something going on with you. Like, that's just kind of what this is carrying, is him having all, knowing of all these things, but is just so scared to, put it out there on the plate, that he was willing to take him and to other people out. But again, he would not have been aware fully at that moment, because that's where it was. Is there anything that we need to know? Some deeper look. Okay. It's just expressing hidden feelings. And there was a fear of how he felt. There was a fear of kind of knowing what, and then knowing that he would have to do something about it. Okay. There would have been more time to play. And he was kind of worried it would like slow down his childlike stuff, his playing, or him being serious or whatever. Like he really thought that would slow the funness of life down if he were to have, taken care of that. But there was definitely hidden feelings here. And if you take a step back, he's saying that you can see it. If you look for it, you can see it. Yeah, he's just saying to let go of the control of it. Just surrender to this. step back, though, you can see something beforehand if you take a look back. Last couple cards here. Ten of Swords, reverse, Six of Cups, reverse, Judgment. That is in reverse. Okay, so by the ending here, he was not able to show himself to everybody. He had this other shadow side to him. Again, this is not something that he brought out, because we all have two faces. We all have, one the public sees and one that, only our bedroom pillow sees, like when we cry at night or whatever. Or, like the people that love us the most, that pick us up off the floor, they get to see the other face too. But I feel like he didn't get to show who he really was. And this letting go of his shadow, his past, would have been a huge settle. That would have helped a ton. But there was a lot of self-doubt, and it was just like taking on these unrealistic expectations and can't move forward. There was just no way to move forward. And nothing felt like it was supposed to. So this was a rock bottom. This could have even been after, like, maybe the talk of a breakup, talking that would have put him in a place where he was really at rock bottom, because he was already at the barrel, at the very bottom of that shadow, just like really reeling everything in. And it's like expecting the worst to be over, and it wasn't. And then there was like this and this and this and this. It was like, how was he supposed to heal, kind of feel? It was the ending. It was the closing of a chapter, and there was no chatting about it either. It was like the information or the truth in life and in the afterlife, nothing comes into balance at that time. So. Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, because it just like these cards were just indicating that, like there was some sort of it was like a post split or like a breakup or some sort of ending to something that really added on top of it. That could have been his wife. That could have been that too also. It was just indicating that all this heaviness started coming in. And he was like, okay, I've had enough. Like, I can't take one more thing. I can't take one more thing. It was just like on top of, mental fog, on top of not wanting to take care of it, trying to, sabotage the situation by like pretending it doesn't exist, is exactly where it was headed. And it just kind of kept like, so everything was a part of it. I mean, his whole fucking life, from the moment he took his first breath, that is the first memory all the way until the very ending that was piled on top, because I don't think that he probably expressed himself one iota. I really don't. For him to be in that place to do the thing that he did, you would have to have all that on your plate, because he was happy. It was showing that he was happy. It was showing that he was a father and he was a husband and he was doing those things, but it was just like so much pressure. Only can take so much physically, and then mentally and within the spirit, especially if you're not maintaining some sort of balance and health. It's just like, it's a hot mess. It is ripping my heart out. I don't like that at all for any of them. All right, I am going to get out of here. Please go enjoy the rest of this day. Happy 4th of July. I know that was kind of like a hard reading. I didn't know where to go with that. So I just went with where the cards took me. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading, or I got some sort of anything out of it, I hope. Please go ahead, hit subscribe, go ahead and click that bell so you don't miss any of your notifications for Hangman Tarot. Also, share, like, and follow when the videos do pop up on my upload. And other than that, please send requests to the comment section, or you can get a hold of me in my social media, request celebrity, and I will get you on the list, and I will get that out to you as soon as I can. Thanks for joining in the live chat, you guys. Yeah. Any of your are those WWE wrestlers? Because I love doing the wrestlers. I used to watch it all the time when I was little. My daughter watches it now. I don't want to be too loud. She'll hear me. She'll be like, Mom. I definitely watched, The Divas. I really liked that show. Like nobody remembers it. I'm like, that was a good show. Oh, he's a real doctor? Okay. Yeah, just go ahead and leave a full name and I will write it down. I go through my comments about every other day. I check everything. I put it on a list and then I get to it. All right, you guys, happy 4th of July. Dr. Mike. I'll check him out. See ya.